Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Holistic Mompreneur Summit. We're so excited that you're here and tuning in with us. Today, we have the beautiful Monique here with me. Hey, Monique,
Hi, Moore.
how are you?
I'm doing well.
I'm so honored that you're here because I know that what you're going to share is going to transform the listeners' lives and add so much value to their day-to-day life and routine. So, how about we just dive in? Maybe you can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely. Sounds good. I'm thrilled to be here as well, and I'm honored to share this information with moms. Being a mom myself at a very young age, I know there's lots of challenges. So I'm excited to be here and share this. My name's Monique Derwin. I am the mind body coach, and I work with people and teach them to self heal using the pharmacy that their body naturally makes.
Okay, I love that. And now, what does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so we're all here in this body and this physical body that we have, and our body is really brilliant. It knows how to heal a wound. Like if we get a cut on our hand, the body knows how to stop the blood from flowing and clot and then make a little scab. And if we have a broken bone, our bone knows how to grow back together. Our body knows how to digest food and make our heart beat, and our lungs create air. And so, if it does all of this, what else does it do that maybe we haven't really been exposed to or we don't really consider or think about? Um, and I started investigating this years ago, and what I found was really fascinating.
What did you find?
Yeah, that our body innately knows how to heal itself.
Mhm.
So, whether you have things like migraines or colds or um, gut issues, allergies, chronic ailments, your body actually knows how to heal itself. And we don't have to do anything but kind of get out of our own way.
Mhm. Okay, so maybe you can give us some examples. So if our kids, if my kid suddenly has a cold, right, and I can't send them to school, how can I how can I use this to help my kid feel better so he can, go to school now?
Right. So, there's a reason why illness and disease manifest in the body.
Hmm.
Um, Different things that are going on in life, trauma, experiences, emotional dysregulation, which just means that we don't necessarily know what we're feeling or how to process it or feel it. And the body kind of takes it on and it gives us this signal or this message. It might look like a stomach ache or a headache or a cold or a sinus infection. Because when the mind and the body are not playing nice, when they're not being friends, when they're not holding hands and having this, what we call cohesion, we're a little more susceptible to things. Our stress level is more active, which in turn drops our immune system. And just we get illness a little bit easier. So,
Got it.
taking certain things like a stomach ache, for instance, I would kind of ask myself, what's making me sick to my stomach in real life? Um, if I have a headache, maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe I'm looking at a lot of things that are going on, feeling overwhelmed, right? Um, Colds or sinus stuff or allergies, it's kind of like what's all in your face? So I might ask my child, what's going on? Hey, buddy, what's happening? How's school? Is there anything that you want to talk to me about? Because what's happening are these emotions being shoved down in the body, and we don't know what to do with them. And then so there's something that triggers in our physical body, and we have to self care or take care of ourselves in a different way. And we're not usually given permission to do that.
I love that. And I love how you explain that. And I also feel like there's so much of, for example, when a kid goes to school and suddenly, that like everybody goes back to school and then everybody becomes sick and everybody, is contaminated from each other, taking it from each other. And how can we empower our children to stay true to who they are and not take on, right, other people's thoughts, beliefs, systems, fears on us?
It is. It's truly about empowering them, you know, um, and then teaching them to have a safe space to express. When we don't express and we push things down, the body becomes the storage locker for it. And it might not happen the first time or the second time or the third time, but eventually there's a buildup of emotion and these little traumatic moments that we've all experienced. And it's kind of like an explosion. And it's just this message or this signal like, hey, pay attention. Something needs to happen. And I speak from this as a mom. I have children. They're adult children now. They're much older, but my son in high school suffered some very severe stomach issues. Um, we did scopes and did tests and surgeries and pulled out body parts, even trying to figure out where this came from. And in the end, we realized it was stress induced. And he was nervous about a lot of things and he was getting really sick. And he has come a long way. And he was actually one of the first people that I worked with that began to heal his own body. And he's 23 now, fixing to be 24. So this was, he was 15 or 16 years old, so almost 10 years ago now. And when he gets stressed, it kind of sneaks back up, you know? So we know it is stress induced. The doctors never could really find anything wrong, which was frustrating for me as a mom, because when your kid's hurting, like it's so painful to just watch them be sick or not know what to do. But when we finally started making these connections and I began to ask him, like, what's going on in your esophagus? What's going on in your gut? What's going on at school? And as he got older, he told me much more, to what was happening during those years. But it was really just giving him a safe space to share and be honest and not judge and not be shocked, at some of the things that kids say.
Yeah, it's really a lot of communication and listening to your body.
Yes.
So what does working with you look like? Like, is it like a hands-on technique? Do you ask questions? How does that look like?
So over the years, I have gotten several certifications. I am a physical massage therapist and a craniosacral therapist. So I do some hands-on work with people that are local. I also have a retreat center here on my property. So if anyone is out of town and they want to come spend the weekend with me and get some hands-on work and some in-person stuff, that's always an option. I mainly work online though, and I work a few ways online. I have clients all over the world. We meet on Zoom. We meet an hour every week, and I have a private, intense one-on-one. So if you've got some deep-rooted trauma or some chronic pain that you've been dealing with, and you've tried all the things and not really gotten the results you wanted, I invite you to connect with me because what I do is very different than what's out there. So I have a private, intense one-on-one. I also have a small group, and I'm actually going to be starting a new one here in a couple weeks on the 26th of September, and it's just mind body work. So it talks about the mind body connection, how illness and disease manifest in the body. It's a really basic course, but it's a great starter for maybe people that have never been introduced to this work. And so that's a 6-week course, kind of the same thing. We meet once a week and it's all recorded. You have access to it for life. So you can always go back and paperwork, PDFs, all that good stuff for everybody. And then the third way is a membership. I have a membership that's a monthly membership, and you can sign up for a year, or you can sign up month to month, either way. But we dive into this work as a community, as a group. And so you get to see other people getting the work and healing and asking questions, and just brings a little bit different awareness. So mainly online, but I also have those in-person options as well.
I love that. And what is a few tools, maybe a few awarenesses you can share with our listeners To start implementing right now at home, anything you can do to start feeling better if a mom is suffering from a migraine. I know we talked about asking some questions to get more clarity, but then what do we do? Like, what is the next step? Okay, so I'm asking questions. Okay, yes, I'm kind of stressed. Now what?
Yeah. So ideally, we want to navigate in a different route because what created these migraines or whatever we're dealing with is actually an old pattern and behavior. It's a habit. And habits are ingrained in our nervous system. So what we really want to do is do something different. And I know that's really hard to hear because ideally, my own story is I had a migraine. I could go to my room and turn off my lights and put a bandana on my face and take my meds and nobody would mess with me. So I kind of got that self-care time that I really was craving. And I would say notice it, but begin to be proactive. So if you need to go lay down, by all means, go lay down. Take your moment. I definitely understand that. That might be the only moment that you get. But where can you carve out time for yourself somewhere in the next few days? It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 hours. Find space for yourself somewhere in your calendar. As moms, as business people, some of us are wives, we tend to overgive to everyone around us. And it's just natural. But pardon the cliche, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so, where can you get what you need? So, you're going to have to ask yourself, what am I stressing about? And is it a problem to solve? Or is it something that's kind of mulling over in my mind? Like, is there actually a solution to it or not? Um, so it's really getting some facts down and carving out a little bit of time somewhere for yourself on your calendar. So in the moment, it might just be running the water and putting your hands under the water. Like just letting the water hit your hands for a minute, just getting into your body for just a moment and kind of letting the brain slow down and kind of drop those rapid fire, like kids are at soccer, got to pay the credit card, it's time to change the oil. You know what I mean? Like we're always processing things. So just breathe for a moment, just take a moment, 30 seconds, 90 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever you can squeeze out. I invite you to really offer that to yourself and just make a cup of tea, get your journal out, put your hands underwater, something to just pause. That has been one of the most beneficial things for myself. It's one of the first things I teach my clients, and it's not easy. It's not easy to do on a regular basis, but if you could take a moment every single day, and honestly, I would say do it before everybody wakes up. Get up before the sun comes up, find a spot to just breathe or be by yourself. I know it's crazy because when you want that extra 10 minutes of sleep because you're exhausted because the kids are running around late at night, I get it. But if you can put your brain into a cycle that gives you permission to take care of yourself just for a moment, you're going to be better throughout the day. You're going to do
Mhm.
things with ease. You're going to do things different. You're going to not be burnt out or exhausted by the time you get home and have to feed those kids because you know they're hungry. They always want to be eating food. And we got to feed them, so it's truly about just those moments that you can take care of yourself and snatch them wherever you can. But we tend to like watch TV or put on Netflix or distract or scroll Facebook because we kind of want to detach. But I would invite you to kind of go in instead of look for those outside influences, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I love that. So maybe you can share with us what is the most amazing or one of a great client success story that you have, just so people can see what kind of results they can get from this kind of work and diving into this stuff.
I have so many examples of clients having life altering results. Um, One of my clients couldn't drive a vehicle. She had a accident and had hurt her neck and triggered a lot of old trauma. And she would get into her vehicle and she would actually put her hands through the steering wheel. Like she physically couldn't grip them. The anxiety was so high. She couldn't get her kids to school with ease in the morning. She was really struggling in her marriage. There was just kind of one thing after another. You know what? It's kind of like it's always something. It was kind of that story where it was just showing up everywhere. And we worked specifically on her anxiety and her chronic pain in her neck. And now she does things that she did not believe she could do before. She can climb rock walls. She's training again. She's driving her vehicle. She's taking her kids on the train. She's doing all the things that she wants to do. And she's doing it with a different mindset and with a different physical body. I have a client that just worked with me in the membership, in the group, lost 67 pounds, has no back or knee pain again. I've had clients that have had surgeries that have not been successful, and we've been able to change the way that their body is processing this information, and they don't need the surgeries anymore.
Amazing.
It's pretty fascinating. So if you have a pain that's been around more than 3 months, or you have migraines that come and go throughout your life, or sciatica or frozen shoulder, neck or pain, anything, it's considered to be a mind-body issue. And not that it's in your mind, not that you're making it up or anything like that, but that the way your brain has perceived this pain has become chronic. And so just know that if that's been happening, you don't have to suffer. And you can get back into your life, and you can live a fulfilled life and do the things that you want to do. And this goes for anxiety, depression, so many symptoms that we suffer with as moms.
Yes, and I can definitely attend to that, right? As an energy healer myself, the stuff that we see after sessions is pure magic. And so many women are like, this is miracles. I'm like, yeah, it's miracles, but it's also you, choosing to release these patterns from your body, choosing to let go of the fear, choosing to let go of the trauma. And even though it might seem scary or hard, the minute you choose, you would be amazed what shows up for you and what you can release and what your body does. So if our listeners want to find more about you, where can they do that?
Yeah, great question. I have a YouTube channel where I have some of the client success stories as well as practical tools. I have a lot of what I call mindful movements that gives you physical movements as well as emotional stuff and things like essential oils or topical things that you can do. So no matter where you're at in your journey, there's a way that you can access this information and use it. So on YouTube, I'm Monique the Mind Body Coach. I'm also Monique the Mind Body Coach on most platforms, TikTok, Instagram. You can probably find me in that under Facebook as well. You can probably just Google Monique the Mind Body Coach at this point in time and pull me up. So find me on social media, reach out, connect with me, follow me, let me know that you heard me here. And let's just talk about where you are. I've got some really great things that I can offer you no matter where you're at in your healing journey.
I love it. And I encourage you, if you have any more questions, to just tag Monique in the group and ask her any questions that might come up for you. She'll be tuning in and answering any questions that you have as well. So I just want to thank you so much for this conversation. I think it was really eye-opening and really showing us other ways to heal our bodies that maybe we didn't think about and really making that connection. I think that's really great. So thank you for sharing that awareness. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you for having me. It's I love what you're doing here and I'm just honored to be a part of it. So
Thank you. Well, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you tune into the next interview, and we will be in touch soon. Thank you.
I
Bye.